A director spoke something in Johnny Carson's ear during his speech, which caused him to stop in the middle of his thought. Behind the scenes, there was a little boy who wasn't meant to be there waiting. Timothy, who was 7 years old, was told he only had 6 months to live. He used his last wish to shake hands with Johnny Carson instead of going to Disneyland or meeting Superman. The makers thought it would only take 30 seconds to a minute for a picture. Timothy was wheeled onto the stage in a wheelchair. He looked up at Johnny with eyes that looked like they had seen too much pain for a 7-year-old. This made the king of late night cry. The man behind the smile would be remembered for the rest of his life for what he did next in front of 20 million people who weren't ready to see it. October 12, 1981, Studio One in the California city of Burbank. Just another show that airs on Monday nights, The Tonight Show. Johnny was very hot that night. The speech was terrible. People in the crowd loved it. Ed McMahon was laughing in the way he always does. Things were going just as planned. Next, the show's chief producer, Fred Dordova, walked out from the side of the stage. He didn't do that while the tape was going. Never. Johnny saw him right away and knew something wasn't right. Fred came over during a break in the show. He got close. "Johnny, we need to talk about something. Someone is backstage with a kid. Fund for Make-A-Wish. He's having a bad day. They brought him here tonight. He only wanted to meet you." Johnny looked toward the front of the stage. "Really? End-stage leukemia?" This morning, the family drove up from San Diego. Doctors told them that today might be the last good day for him. Johnny didn't think twice. "Bring him out." "Are you sure? We can do it after the show." "Fred, don't tell anyone." "Bring him out." Tim Marsh was 7 years old. He was 42 pounds. It had been 3 years since the leukemia won, and everyone knew how the story finished. Tim had one dream, though. The nights when his mom held his hand and tried not to cry where he could see her were what got him through the hospital stays and treatment. He needed to talk to Johnny Carson. There you have it. Timothy's mom, Barbara, raised him by herself. When Timothy's dad heard the news, he had already left. Not able to handle it. That means there were only 2 of them. He was in a lot of pain every night, but they did something every night no matter how bad Kevin felt. She would watch The Tonight Show at 11:30 p.m. Timothy was in the hospital, and she would sit next to his bed and watch Johnny with him. Timothy wasn't always able to laugh. There were times when the pain was too much. Johnny made his mom laugh, though. Timothy felt a little better when his mom laughed. Tim had asked Mama 2 weeks ago, "Can I meet the man who makes you smile before I go to heaven?" Barbara tried to explain that celebrities like Johnny Carson don't meet regular people and that you can't just call NBC and ask. But she called the Make-A-Wish Foundation anyway and made the request. She had no idea that it would actually happen. The call came on October 12th. They only had one spot. They might be able to get to Burbank. Before the woman could finish her question, Barbara already said yes. The ad break was over. Johnny looked around at the people. "Let's try something new now, everyone. Tonight we're having a very special guest." The stage door opened. Timothy's wheelchair was pushed onto the stage by a production worker. The people in the room were lost. This was not a famous person. This little kid was in a wheelchair and wearing a suit that was way too big for him. He was bald from chemotherapy. He had something pressed up against his chest. Johnny walked over right away. He got on his knees next to the wheelchair so that he was level with Timothy. "Hi there, friend. What's your name?" Tim's speech was soft but clear. "Mr. Timothy Marsh. I'm 7 years old. I'm from San Diego." "San Diego? It's a long drive. Are you worn out?" "A little, but I really wanted to meet you." John made a face. That real Carson smile, not the one he wears on TV. "I'm really glad you're here, Timothy. Is that your mom?" She was standing just off stage and barely keeping it together when he pointed to her. "Yes, that's my mom. She keeps an eye on you every night with me." "Every night? Even the old ones?" Timothy laughed. Really laughed. Even the old ones. The crowd was very quiet. 20 million people at home who were watching were mute because of something that didn't happen on talk shows. Something real. Johnny saw that Timothy had something in his hand. "What do you have there, buddy?" Timothy showed a card he had made himself. Lots of different kinds of paper and crayons. A picture by a child of Johnny sitting at his desk. "This is what I made for you. Mama helped me spell. I gave the card to Johnny. He had a little shaking in his hands. He opened it. "Thank you for making my mama smile," was written inside by a child. "Thank you, Timothy?" Johnny looked at those words for a long time and read them again and again. People in the room saw it happen. Carson Cool, who is known for being calm, just broke down. Johnny looked at Timothy, the sick kid. This 7-year-old boy used his last wish not to go to Disneyland or meet a superhero, but to thank his mom for making him happy. And Johnny Carson lost it. His voice cracked because his eyes were crying. He tried to talk but failed. Tim put out his little hand when he saw Johnny crying. He put it on Johnny's arm. "You can do it, Mr. Carson. Mama cries too. It means you have a big heart," she says. That was it. Johnny lost his mind completely. He gave Timothy a big hug. Timothy was very weak, so be gentle. And Johnny Carson, who was the king of late-night talk shows and had met every president since Nixon, broke down in tears on national TV. He had built his career on never showing weakness. People in the room weren't sure whether to cheer or be quiet. An awful lot of them were crying too. As Ed McMahon sat at his desk, tears were running down his face. As the band leader, Doc Severson, wiped his eyes. The people running the cameras were crying. The person who ran the boom was crying. 20 million Americans were watching a real-life moment of people being human. Johnny barely got himself together. He was still on his knees next to Timothy's wheelchair. "Tim," he said in a rough voice, "you are a unique child. You already know that. Mama also says that. Your mother is right." There was a pause. "May I ask you a question?" "Okay. When you get older, what do you want to be?" There was no clear answer to the question. In that room, everyone knew Timothy would never grow up. It was clear what the doctors said. Maybe a few weeks, not months. But Timothy didn't think twice about answering. "A funny person like you." Something tricky happened to Johnny's face. Sadness, pain, and pride all at the same time. "Yes." "Do you have any jokes for me?" Timothy eagerly agreed. "What made the chicken cross the playground?" "I don't understand why to get to the next slide." It wasn't funny. It was a joke for kids. Almost didn't make sense. John laughed, though. I laughed so hard. The people in the room laughed. Timothy's face lit up like he had just played at Carnegie Hall. "That's fine." "That's great." Johnny got up and spoke to the crowd. "Thank you very much. This is Timothy Marsh, the future of comedy." Timothy got a standing ovation from the crowd. A real one, not the nice one. This is the kind of hug you give after seeing something important. The cameras did not catch what happened next. There were ads after the show, and it was the first time Johnny had ever done that. He told the stage crew to clear it. All of them are gone except for Johnny, Timothy, and his mom. Johnny put his chair down on the floor next to Timothy's. The Tonight Show stage was empty except for the three of them. "Timothy, I have something for you." Johnny took off his Rolex watch, which he had worn for 15 years and was worth more than Barbara made in a year. "I've worn this watch on every show, interview, and other event. I want you to have it. Remember that you're important to more than just your mom. I feel the same way about you." Tim's eyes got really big. "I can't. That's too much." "You're not going to take it." "I'm giving it." A big change. Marianne was upset, full-on crying. "We can't agree with you, Johnny." She was looked at by Johnny. "I learned something tonight from your son, ma'am. He helped me remember why I do this. It's not about the stars, the numbers, or anything else like that. It's about making people happy when they're down. Every night you two have been watching me. I didn't know you were there, but now I do. I'll make sure Timothy gets the best care possible, no matter what he needs or how long he needs it."